Welcome to Red Fracture TV. I, as always, am your host, Sean Chappell. This week, I'm making changes to my video format yet again. These were supposed to be sort of 5-minute updates on my journey through self-employment, and they become 10-minute long dialogues with inset images and music and extra videos and blah, 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 blah. It's too much. They take forever to script and longer to edit, and sometimes taking up to an entire day of my time. I don't have the time for that, and since YouTube isn't a cornerstone of my financial empire, I'm going to strip down my video format and keep these short and sweet. Also, I wasn't really pleased with how many images I was borrowing from the net in order to bolster my content. I didn't ask permission, and asking would take way too long. So for now, I'm going to try to keep my visuals to an in-video format, or making sure that they're mine to begin with. Let's get started. I got them done! Even though I lost 2 days to Christmas and essentially doubled my workload, I was able to do my weekly sketch cover and pick up the one that I missed. I put them down in my weekly log to complete on the weekend and got them done. Mostly. Although I had to do a little bit of work on Monday to finish off the second one, I consider this a success. The first is Shelley. There it is there. An indie comic written by Stephanie Lean. It deals with themes of bullying in school and the idea of figurative monsters in daily life. So I decided to make Shelley a literal monster, bringing in the Cthulhu influence with the octopus eye and this lovely tentacly hair here. Also, she's burning down the school. Nice touch. P.S. This is not a comment on education. Education is king. Also, I put in a little Easter egg, a nod to the Book of Death sketchbook cover that I did in the form of an earring. It's right there, if you can see it. I think I'll be doing this for the rest of my sketch covers as an added bonus for my collectors. Second is another indie comic titled Morris, written by Shane Heron. I was told at Studio Comics that it was an apocalyptic western, and with a title like Morris, I immediately thought zombie cat with a 6-shooter. For those of you who don't know, Morris was the cat who sold 9 Lives cat food back in the 80s. This is the design I came up with, and I don't think it's all too shabby. I put a nod to Shelley in this one as well, but I'll keep it a secret and see if you can spot the connection. It's not an Easter egg if you don't have to search for it. The artwork for Honey Bomb is finally done. Yay! Kitty and Sabrina and I are one step closer to the reality of creating our first tabletop game. Now that the artwork is completed, Kitty is digitizing, cleaning up, and mounting the images on their backgrounds. It's a task that I've tried to make easier by keeping the design edges smooth or simplified, but some of it is quite labor intensive, and a kudos to my lady love, Kit Daven, for taking on this arduous task is not out of order here. Thank you, sweetie. When we first started Honey Bomb, my goal was to have it completed and ready to kickstart by November. Boy, was I naive. The conventional wisdom that I found online is that it takes a year to create, test, and market a new game. They weren't kidding. Here we are at the end of December, 6 months into building Honey Bomb, and the cards are only now finally being completed. After this, we'll be uploading them to a printer and getting in tester packs so that we can start our market research as to whether or not Honey Bomb is actually fun to play. We think it is, but to others, time will tell. We're going to spend the winter testing the game, and we have lots of avenues of attack. There's the Round Table in Waterloo, Press and Play in Hespeler Village, Snakes and Lattes in Toronto, and even the local library, who hosts a monthly gaming night. There are a ton of gaming cafes and gaming events locally that will assist us with testing out the game, honing it, adjusting it, and making it the very best it can be. It has to be quality. And personally, I can't wait. I get so excited when I see people playing it. We had the opportunity to test it out on family again at Christmas, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. We also have friends who said that they'd like to test us out, help us test out the game. We haven't forgotten about you too. We'll be in touch in January once we have test packs in hand. Not to worry. There will be plenty of Honey Bomb for everyone. Set a schedule. This is different from keeping focused on specific goals or keeping a weekly/monthly log of what needs to get done. This is about figuring out what your day-to-day activities should be, setting a time aside for doing them, and putting them in an order that makes sense for you. Essentially, you create daily habits and routines for getting all your work done. You really are your own boss when you're self-employed. I started reading a great book by Gretchen Rubin called Better Than Before, and it's all about creating habits that allow you to accomplish all your goals. What's really great about it is that it got me thinking about my own workflow, or lack thereof, and what needs to change in order for me to be more efficient with my time. Since I started working for myself, I've been running to put out fire after fire. Get that show together, get that website together, get that grant together. I've been looking at my days as 12-hour or 16-hour blocks of time into which I cram as much crap as I can. While this approach has allowed me to get a lot done, it hasn't allowed me to do art every day, which is sad, and it squeezes some activities into one day, and one day alone. If that day has an emergency, then that activity gets bulldozed, and that is not cool. So I set a schedule. I realized that I don't do art very well in the mornings, so I set aside 8 to 12 p.m. for doing email, website maintenance, social media, etc. All the digital stuff that is important to modern business. Then, after a scheduled lunch break, I do art or something creative until 4:30 p.m. This could be a sketch cover or a new t-shirt design. After that, I schedule an hour for exercise, legs, upper body, yoga, doesn't matter. It is important to exercise, so it goes on the schedule. After a short dinner break, I've got a free block of time from 8 to 11 p.m. where I can continue to art or work on digital stuff or just hang out, play a board game with Kitty, go to the movies, see friends, etc. It's free time to work or socialize depending on what's really important. The choice is mine. Then at 11, I shut it down, and by 11:30, I'm in bed. While this approach might not work for every day, it's working well for the majority of my time and is allowing me to get everything done, at least in part, without being rushed or missing out on something due to an emergency. I invite you to try setting a schedule for yourself, just like any job might. You might thank me for it. For now, that is all. Thanks for watching. P.S. This is Sky, and she's been bugging me to play through this entire video shoot. She's very insistent, very cute, and I'm going to go play with the cat now. Have fun. Bye now.